All right. Hello, 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 people of YouTube. Reminds me of Val, which I don't know where the heck Val's been. Valamilk. Hope she's okay. Hope you're okay if you're out there. All right. Tuesday, January 5th. Welcome to Reseller Rewind. My name is Brian, aka Texas Treasures. And it was one of my resolutions this year was to be more consistent with doing and maybe some other videos, but not really too motivated about that yet. So here we are. It's been a busy day of reselling. Hope everyone else's day has been good and productive. It's been one of those long days, and I am not finished yet. Actually, before we get into that, I'm trying to do this. Ooh, got a juicy quote for today. So I'm going to go ahead and share the quote with you. I've got to post this later to text group. Today's Tuesday, January 5th. Seize your effing life and stake a claim for it yourself as though your life depended on it, because the reality is it does. I have read this book where that quote came from. And if I remember correctly, kind of, well, I think the gist of that is that too often we just kind of glide through life. We just kind of glad have all these goals, these dreams, and we never go for it. We have too many self-doubts, so many fears. And I remember he ends that book, which looking forward, he said, imagine, you're hopefully a long time from now, you're on your deathbed and you're having to live with those regrets of dreams that you never went for. He doesn't want to do that. Go out there and carpe diem, seize the day, right? Whatever that means. Okay, so anyway, that's the quote of the day. I will have to send that in with my daily listing count, which right now I am only at 3 listings, guys. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, only 3. I will get my 21. I'm going to have to work tonight after dinner. Sad face, sad day, but I've got to get my minimum of 20 listings up. Wasn't like I was slacking off. I was working all day. I had a good day of orders. I had 48 orders ship out today. That took a long time. Did have some internet difficulties. Internet went down for a while. That really sucked, and that kind of stopped a lot of work from happening. And I sell a lot on Facebook Marketplace, and man, it takes up so much time for customer service. These people asking questions, but you need to respond to them, because there is a certain percentage of them that will convert into sales. So spend a lot of time on customer service, and it's been worth it, because I had a lot of Facebook Marketplace sales, and currently they have I don't know. I think they were supposed to start 5% fees today. But the orders I looked that were sold today still did not have those fees. So I don't know. Even if they are instituting a 5% fee, that's not a whole lot, especially compared. Poshmark does 20%, eBay does around 13%. If you add in promoted listings, it can easily go up from there. And of course, other sites are somewhere in that range, 10 to 20%. So 5% is not bad. Update. Hey, here's another thing. It doesn't really relate to reselling per se. Hello, Brittany, all bossed up. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're doing well. Like New Year, we all set our goals. It's kind of like this sense of hope. And man, I quit teaching on September 16th to go reselling full time, and that was scary. And I think just the stress of that over the past several months, and I've gained some weight. January 1st, I weighed myself. I'm just gonna be really transparent. 272 pounds. 272. Now I'm a big guy, so I can carry some weight, but I'm not a defensive lineman, so I don't need to be carrying that much weight. So I did. Where is it? Here we go. Here's the books I'm reading. I did get this Bulletproof. I listened to Dave Asprey on a podcast, and and I've just started reading this, so I haven't got that far into it. But it's basically like a keto diet with some variations, and with intermittent fast. Like I don't eat until now. I don't eat until noon. I eat lunch and then I eat dinner. I do start my day with a bulletproof coffee, which is 2 cups of coffee with, I know it's going to sound crazy, but 2 tablespoons of grass-fed butter and a little MCT oil. That's basically coconut oil. It's actually pretty freaking good. And because there's no carbs, like your body's running off of fat and it produces ketones. And I'm already down 4 pounds and I'm not hungry. Like the cool thing about keto is like there's no hunger. And the other good side effect is that there's mental clarity. Like I was always sleepy before, craving all those carbs. Man, I haven't needed a nap. And I'm able to run more efficiently. My mind is clear. My I don't know. It's just there's something to that. Brittany, yeah, I gotta have the coffee. I've always had to have the coffee, but this bulletproof version is a little different with the butter, which is the fat, and also that MCT oil. Okay, wow, you're really fasting. Well, since we're talking diet, what time do you eat dinner? So, like for me, I try to eat at 12, and then we'll make dinner after this. So I'll probably eat about 7. So that means there's about a 17-hour window of fasting for me, and your body then uses your fat for fuel during that time period. And like I said, it's off to a great start. I'm down 4 pounds, so I'm really pleased with that. And the mental clarity and the energy are way up. So I'll keep you updated. I used to be an English teacher, so reading, still like to do it. So I'm reading that. And here's another book that just came in today. It's The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg. I don't know how Duhigg. I know habits are very, and will get you where you want to be. I've implemented a lot of habits into my reselling life, and they've really, and personal life too, and they're really yielding good results. All right, so there's personal update, book update. We've done the quote of the day. Before the main topic today, I want to kind of talk about sourcing. But one little side note, I was talking about Facebook Messenger, not Facebook Marketplace. And by the way, guys, if you're not selling on there, it is a really good platform. But this guy messaged me. I have replenishables. These are items that are multi-quantity that I buy wholesale and I sell on there. And Facebook Marketplace doesn't have it where you can track those easily. So and the post office is in a hot mess right now with delayed packages, lost packages, and people are messaging me all the time. And this guy messaged me about an order, and I spent 20 minutes. I had to manually look through hundreds of orders looking for his, or actually he said it was his girlfriend. He didn't even order it from me. He just found my listing, which I had the same listing as someone else. And I told him, I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I just wasted 20 minutes trying to find an order that with me. And he was really rude too before that, and he was apologetic. So the negative on Facebook Marketplace, customer service and messenger are a whipping, but I still think it's worth it because man, there's some good money out there on Marketplace. Wow, that's really good, Brittany. Or I'd like to get down there, maybe a 6-hour window. I'm getting close. I have a 7-hour window right now. And how does that work? Okay, so it kind of makes sense. Um, on this, on Bulletproof, it's Dave Asprey, Asprey. He he was a a millionaire. He made he multi-millionaire in Tech Valley. Like he comes from a tech background, like an entrepreneur, but his personal life, he weighed like 300 pounds, all through his 20s, through childhood, had obesity, had a lot of mental fatigue, tired, issues like that. Every diet, he said for 1 year he literally worked an hour and a half a day, 6 days a week, on 1,800 calories, and he lost no weight. Now he did gain some muscle, but he lost no weight, and so he went on a journey. And like he went over to Tibet. He did a lot. He worked with a lot of nutritionists and scientists, and tried a lot of different things, and he came up with this, basically like a keto version with a few twists. And his name is Dave Asprey. Really interesting guy. I heard him on a podcast from on Dak Shepard on his podcast, which is another good podcast. And here's the other one, which I haven't started, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. All right, but I mean, bring those up, as he also has a podcast too. I was listening to his podcast while I was working today, and a lot of his clients that he has are big executives. They're trying to get the mental edge, and I've only been doing it for a few days, but I definitely have more energy, and hopefully that keeps up. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is amazing. Yeah, low carb works for me too. It's just keto works faster, and beyond just the weight loss. There's a lot of health benefits to anti-inflammation, which causes a lot of problems. It gives you more mental alertness. I just barely started that book, so I'll keep you updated. All right. So today I want to talk about sourcing. In the reselling business, if you kind of think about, right, there's certain things you have to do. You have to source, you have to find your inventory, you have to process it once you get it home. What's going on? Not so good, man. But you know what? I'm not done. I'm gonna have to finish. I only got three listings so far. I do have all my measurements taken, and I do have pictures taken. So I've just got to create the listings. I'm gonna be doing that tonight after dinner, because I've got to hit at least my minimum 20. It wasn't like I was slacking today. I had 48 orders out, tons of customer service. That's what I was talking about, especially on Facebook Marketplace. I had the internet went down. We also have a new puppy, which we're kind of having to train. My daughter is she's in 9th grade, also doing some online learning, so juggling a few things. But I will get those listings done. After this live show, we're gonna eat dinner, and then I'm gonna come back out here and knock them out. It'll probably only take me, I don't know, no more than an hour and a half. Yeah, it was a great day. It was a great day of orders. It was really good. And seems like more wholesale stuff has been selling for me. Even then, the clothing was pretty good. Wholesale stuff is just blowing up, and that's what we're talking about, especially on Facebook Marketplace. So anyway, going back to the idea of sourcing, you have your inventory, however you do it, and we can talk about that. Then once you acquire it, you have to process it. You have to sort it. Then you've got the listing process, right? And depending on what you're listing, like I know Jared does, he does CDs in bulk. That's a little bit easier to list, something like that. A couple photos, you knock those out pretty quick. But like if you're doing clothing, you got to take your measure. Like for me, I take measurements, then I do the photographs, download them to the computer, then create the listing. Try to do sell similar off my own listings, or sell similar off of other people's listings, and get all that streamlined. And then, You've got, of course, when it sells, you've got to, oh yeah. So once you do that, then, you got to put in some type of inventory system. I use bins right now with SKU numbers. The item sells, then you've got to retrieve it. There's bookkeeping involved. There's the shipping where you got to package it. And of course, there's customer service where you're answering questions, taking offers. Like I've been going back and forth with somebody on a pair of Gap 1969 women's jeans. We have been negotiating back and forth, and I think we're gonna come to a deal here in a minute. I have that feeling. But there's a lot of little steps once you kind of break it down. Brittany says listing tonight. How do you have a listing go, Brittany? Yeah, DVDs are so are books. I dabble in books. I like to read them. And depending on, all right, so yeah, let's get into sourcing, because where you source and what you source, kind of depends on your model. And we talk a lot about it. This is group daily refinement. And like my main thing is clothing, but in the past, I've kind of just about everything. From books to clothes to hard goods to vintage to collectible. So when it comes to sourcing, I started out with garage sales, and I still think garage sales are a great place to source, depending on where you're at in the country. I'm in Texas, so it's pretty warm year round, and we have we have garage sales pretty much year round. And most people, if you think about our country, we're the wealthiest country in the world, and we like to buy stuff. And when most garage sales, they're just clear out stuff to be able to buy more stuff. And you can find really good items, and typically at garage sales are going to be cheap. Good thing about garage sales is that you can work on your negotiating skills. I used to love to do that. Now, I'll say all this with a grain of salt. Like I have not been sourcing. Like I had a giant lot of jeans that were shipped to me. I'm still working on those. It's been a couple weeks. And then I buy a lot of wholesale inventory that's get shipped to my house. So I haven't done any of this in at least several weeks. And I am itching to get out there and to get sourcing again. I think most people find sourcing as the most fun part. But at garage sales, you can find some really, really good treasures. So garage sales are one place to source. Yay. All right. Come on back, Brittany. Yeah, it's the group is great. I'm just looking at Messenger pop up. You need to come on back. So we got garage sales. What's up, Try Flippers? How you doing? Just talking about sourcing. Of course, thrift stores. I think people probably go to thrift stores. Thrift stores are great. I found some local thrift stores, and like I live in a suburb outside of Dallas, and I found 4 or 5 smaller thrift stores, and their prices are really good. And I've been sourcing from there. Sometimes I will make a trip up into Dallas or Fort Worth and just do like a full day marathon of sourcing, and that's always fun. And I've loaded up my car literally where there was no room, so that's fun. Thinking about thrift stores, if lucky, you'll have a Goodwill outlet, or AKA the bins. We do have one in Fort Worth, which is about 45 minutes from my house, so I do go out there occasionally. Always find some great items, and it's priced cheaply per pound. What else? We have estate sales. I around here, it seems like most of the estate sales are professionally ran, and I don't have as much luck at estate sales as I do other places, even though I have been to a few private estate sales, like by the family, and those have been great. Some of those have been great. Let's see, Jared. Yeah, the Chris's Patreon group is really good. It kind of starts my morning. Well, it doesn't start. I usually get up before that, but it kind of sets the tone, and the ideas are great in there. The only problem with that group is there's too many good ideas, and like that's why I was kind of talking about to Chris this morning. Like I want to do it all. Like I should just focus on one niche, like the tech and sports model. I get, man, I see. Well, I know this makes money, and this model makes money. Yeah, right. Try flippers. The trick is to do personal, non-professional. Yeah, if you can find the personal ones, like you're always going to do better because the family doesn't have the expertise. They're trying to save money, but when those professional companies, they're better. They're better. Not perfect. You can still find deals, but the professionals are better at pricing, and they kind of drop it on a tiered, day 2, maybe it's 25% off. If it makes it to the last day, maybe it's 50 or 75% off. Yeah. And I know some people kill it, like Kevin, aka the Thrifting Lounge. He kills it at estate sales. I have had good online estate sales. Like when the pandemic started, there was one here in my town, and man, it was a gold mine. Like it had books. Like the guy was a physician, and his personal library, $17. It had rare Bibles. Matter of fact, I still got a lot of those books. On those $17 I spent on his books, I probably made $1,000 over the past 6 months. And so sometimes you'll find online estate sales too, like high bid. And speaking of estate sales, that kind of leads me to the next one, auctions, right? You have online auctions, which there for a while, probably 4 to 6 months. That's all I did. And the benefit of that is that you can look these items up if you know what you're doing, look up comps and figure out like how much you want to bid on them. It does seem to me lately there's more people doing it, so the competition has kind of raised the prices, and like I don't like to pay more than a third of what I think it'll sell for. Unless it's something that's going to sell super fast and it's really valuable, because then you got to factor in your time too. So you have online auctions, you've got high bid. This morning we were talking about government auctions, police auctions. So you got all these different auctions. You have storage units auctions. I went through a long period of time when I was doing storage units, and I still dabble in those. Like I won a small storage unit a few weeks ago for $40. It was clothing, it had shoes. Matter of fact, I sold, it had a pair of brand new Timberland boots in there in the box, and those sold for $85. And I only paid $40 for the whole storage unit. So storage units, you have like storagetreasures.com. Locker Fox is another good website where you can actually, you can look at storage units in your area, and you can actually bid on them. Now, the downside of storage units is you get the good and the bad, right? Like, and it's physical work. In my experience, you're probably going to have at least a third trash, a third that you probably want to donate or maybe sell at a flea market because it's really not worth your time to list. And if you're lucky, you might get up to a third that you can list online. So you've got to be willing to, and take trips to the dumpster and get down and dirty and find some interesting and some gross things on some of those storage units. But they are fun. And there is the element of treasure hunting with the storage units, because, you might get lucky and find a safe, a small safe that you didn't know was there. You could find money. You could find jewelry. You really never know what you could find in those storage units. So those are fun, but they are a lot more work. You have flea markets. I know Tech and Sports talks a lot about that, where he would actually bought a golf cart with a like a wagon attached to it, and he would roll that thing around his flea market and would load it up 1,000, 2,000 pieces. That is one I want to try out. I have sold at we have a flea market in our area. I have sold at it. It's a giant flea market. I've I've done a little bit of sourcing, but I've never sourced for clothing out there. I did source some hard goods, and you can find some stuff. The kind of the key on that, from my experience, is to find the people that are they're going out there almost to do a garage sale, because then you've got like a bazillion little garage sales, storage unit guys that go out there, like what I was talking about. You unit, and you just want to move that stuff quick back and make some profit to get to the next storage unit. So flea markets, depending on where you're at, can be really good. Yeah, right, Jared. Of course, Jared's showing the discipline. Brittany's in several groups, probably too many, but I'll start off with Chris's group. Love all the groups. Yeah, I think Chris's Patreon group is amazing. Like I think if a person did nothing else in there but just listened, while they were working, there are nuggets, like there's little go nuggets from Chris or from other members. You're like, oh, like I have my little reseller book right here, my current one, and I always jot down some of these ideas or tips, and these ideas can really a lot of money. So if nothing else, just to be in his group for that. And of course, it's good. Jared's in there, Scott, there's Matt. Like, matter of fact, Matt, Drunkyard Dog, he's the guy I bought the jeans from. I bought 500 jeans from him at a pretty good price. So you also have networking in those groups. And I also joined Daily Reef, Chris's and Tech and Sports Facebook group. It's a pay group, but man, that group's amazing. There's a lot of accountability. And I know I don't want to post a number 3 in that group. Man, I know Tech will give me grief about that. So I got to get those listings up. Yeah, encouraging and supportive. Exactly. So Matt, Matt, he used to just sell jeans, and when he's jeans and pants, like he went to thrift stores and things of that nature. And when the pandemic started, he couldn't really source. He was talking about that this week. And so he just spent a day calling, I guess, Googling and calling all these jean, I don't know, wholesalers, I guess would be the word, and got turned down a lot, but he finally found one. And what did he say, Jared? 18,000 pounds a week of jeans is what he's getting. So he's getting way more jeans than he knows what to do with. Matter of fact, that's what's behind me. That's what I got finished listing. Now, the jeans I got from him are a mix. It's probably 85% women's, which I'd prefer if it was all men. And there's a variety of brands. There are some good brands. And there are some, meh brands. Like there's a New York Jean Company. I'm like, I hate when I see those. Some Gloria Vanderbilt. But then you've got a lot of bread and butter, Aeropostale, AE, there's Levi's, Lucky Brand. Now most are women's. So it's a mix, but you could definitely make money, but you got to get them listed. And I've been listing jeans for a couple of weeks from him. And the more you list the same thing, the faster you get. Like I'm definitely getting faster at listing them, but I'm also like kind of want some variety, to be honest. But it would be smart. Like with that connection, I would never have to source again. Really, I could just have the jeans shipped to me. 2 pallets a week, 1,800. Yeah, it's a lot of jeans. And of course, he's cherry, and I don't blame him. I'd be doing cherry picking. I think he's doing about 300 jeans that he's picking out. They're going to be men's jeans that all have ASPs of 30 or more. But I still find some of those in my lot that slip through, but most of mine, the average profits $10 to $15 after everything's said and done on the jeans. And they're not super fast movers, but they will. And I'm selling jeans every day now, multiple pairs, like I think Monday I had like 9 or 10 pair of jeans that shipped out. And sometimes you'll find the jeans where the profit's 20, 25, sometimes $30. And those are always good, but probably the average is, I would say, 15. Try flippers, thinking about pallets. Okay, yeah, so there's another way to source, right? You got liquidation. I've done a little bit, like I used to do shoes, and I've tried liquidation.com. The problem with that is the shipping gets really expensive. We do have a warehouse in my area that does Amazon returns. It's electronics. I did buy a bunch of Bluetooth speakers there. I think I paid like 50 or 60 bucks each, and I sold all those. I think I bought about 15 of them, and they sold ASP $100. Oh, let me shut the door. My dog is going crazy. Yeah, and the ASP on those were around $100. And they were manufacturer refurbished. And so that's an advantage because this place is local, and I went and picked those up, so I didn't have to pay shipping. But and that's like another auction type thing. So and of course you have online arbitrage where you can source things off of eBay, Mercari, OfferUp, Craigslist, especially back in the day. You have retail arbitrage, and I've done both. I think I've done just about all these models at one time or point. Retail arbitrage, I used to love it because you want to find what do you have locally that's an advantage that other people that don't have. We used to have a Nike clearance outlet about 30 minutes from me. It has since closed down, but when it was open, I would drive down there and load up the car. I'd spend like, I think the biggest purchase for me was like $3,000. I don't know, probably 100. I'm guessing 100 pairs, and these are brand new Nikes. Now they were missing the box tops, but they were brand new Nikes. And the key on that was I would call like every Thursday or Friday to find out their sale. And when they had a 20 or 30% off, and it's on clearance, then it's money. And then you stack that up. I would buy the Nike gift cards online, get another up to 7% off, buy cards, and then use your credit card to buy them. So then you're stacking another 10% savings. It was really good. Like I was really kind of sad when that place closed down. So you could do retail arbitrage, you could do pallets. There's just so many ways to source, and I think sometimes that's my problem. Like I want to do them all. I don't know if I'm ADHD or what. But when you look at the results, you look at Tech and Sports, what he's doing, niche down and just do that one thing out of it, and you'll kill it. Jared says that's good return for not leaving the house and low cost. Yeah. If you're talking about the jeans, yeah. And I will probably keep doing that. I source those, so I'll probably do a mixture. Because also the Goodwill outlet, man, it is so good. And I find some unique things there. I found a Harlem Globetrotter 5XL, 6XL warm-up top. And that's sold for, I don't remember, 60 or 70 bucks, I think. Just found some really unique and some good things. I just sold a Raiders jacket that I found at the bins, and local thrift stores, found leather jackets that sell for 100. And Tech and Sports talks about this leather. I think jackets are one. I think he says he goes looking for at the jersey section, then the jackets, because you can get some of these jackets really cheap, and they have some big ROI. So I don't know. I'm just kind of touching on the different ways to source, places to source, and I'm probably missing some. What do you guys, when y'all source, what is your preference? What do you guys like? How do y'all like to source? Got garage sales, thrift stores, Goodwill outlet, estate sales, online auctions, in-person auctions, and we have an in-person auction near us that does Friday night auctions. And when they were online, they did online for a long time because of COVID, and that was my little honey hole because it was a small one. And now they're doing in person, and I don't know until the vaccines are out if I want to go to an in-person auction yet. But eventually, I will go there, and maybe that's my dessert, my little bit of sourcing things that aren't bread and butter. That are just kind of fun because you'll find vintage, collectible. Um, like I remember at that auction, I found like one of those old brick phones from like the 80s. I paid like $5 for it, and it sold for like 150. So you'll find some really unique and cool things, which are fun to sell. Yeah, there goes Facebook Marketplace messages. They just don't stop. I could literally just answer those almost all day. I don't know if at some point, like if would I hire somebody just to answer Facebook Marketplace messages? They're annoying. But typically what I do is like I answer them in the morning, around lunchtime, and in the evening all at once, because otherwise I would hate answering those stupid things. And I think as a reseller, that's one of the problems, is like disconnecting your personal life and your work life. Because all this stuff is on your phone too, and I'm trying to shut it down. And I've been really good. Like usually around this time of day, I'm done for the day, and that's it. But because I haven't hit my 21, go eat dinner, and then come out here. Probably take me. Well, I've got 18 more to go, but I've got 21 here, so I'm probably going to hit 24 today, unless I stop early. And I think, yeah, tonight's Tuesday night, Jared. Tech and Sports has his live show, so I will probably be out here listing while listening to his live show, and his live show is amazing. That dude is a reseller. Jared said bins are an hour away, so not feasible. I like auctions when they're happening. Pallets coming in are my best bet in playing with retail arbitrage. Yeah, I think in that case, Jared, like if you, and I do make the 45-minute trip to my bins, but because I've still like spent a couple $100 and left there with several hundred items, and that's maybe being there 2 hours. But maybe, I don't know, would it be worth it there to spend a day there every couple of weeks and just really loading up on things? Because that hour each way, I know that's no fun. Brittany loves the bins. When I can muster up strength to spend a few hours, it's an entire day to go sourcing stuff. Then yeah, it is an adventure at the bins, right? It's like a whole nother world for sure. Thrift stores, estate sales. Yeah, it's almost like just kind of piece them all together. And I think before, like I got in these groups, like I spent more time sourcing. Now I'm trying to spend more time listing because the stuff is so plentiful, especially with clothing. And I wasn't really doing clothing before, and I guess maybe that's a difference, that now I'm doing clothing. Yeah, they are annoying. Just don't stop. And I don't know what the percentage that converts. They do convert. It may only be 5 to 10% of the messages for me that actually convert to sales, but there are so many of them, like all freaking day long. And some of the people are just not very professional. And I wish Facebook Marketplace, I'll be glad when they get that figured out. Like eBay has certain policies, like there's clear cut. A lot of the stuff with Facebook Marketplace, you're kind of on your own. Even though like I've set up where they print the labels and they handle the payment, it's like some of the things, it would be like, okay, you go to eBay, try to help them. But with Facebook Marketplace, I even saw I used to send them a link on how to on how to track their packages, and I noticed today, I don't know if it's still gone, that Facebook Marketplace took that down. So it's like, what the heck? Give us a little bit of help here. But at the same time, it's the wild, wild west, and it's not flooded with sellers yet. Jared said, mine in Indianapolis, and they basically fight to get stuff. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, I've heard that from some places here in Fort Worth. I mean, yeah, when they bring out new bins, everybody does line up and man, they go through it. But like me, like I just kind of go through the bins. I will only, matter of fact, I've never actually got a bin right when it comes out. Like I like to get there when it opens, like to be there first. And I just go through each row, and especially early. A lot of people aren't getting there at 8 a.m. and not any major problems. Sometimes people get a little bit in your space, but just give them a little elbow. But overall, it hasn't been that bad for me. Brittany's in Texas. Hey, what part of Texas you in, Brittany? The last couple times I went there, there wasn't any fighting. It was even normal after COVID. People just had it. Of course, wear the mask. Yeah, yeah. Other than the mask, let's bring the hand sanitizer, which I always brought anyway, because digging through those bins can get kind of nasty, especially in the hard goods section. Yeah, but to get the more listings up, I remember before I was in these groups, if I used to think 10 listings a day was a really good day. Now, like if I only got 10 listings, I'd be like, man, that is shameful. Like my minimum now is 20, and that's still like, that's kind of low because I've hit, I think my best 42. But even that, like when you look at what people are doing in Tech and Chris's group, of course, Tech's a machine, Chris is a machine, but there's a lot of people putting 30, 40, 50 listings up a day. And so it's really, but all that being said, everyone's really encouraging. Like you post your numbers, people are supportive. We all know that listing, you got to build up to that you're not going to go from a couple listings a day to 100, 200 listings overnight, that it's a gradual process. Brittany's got a death pile. Yeah, well, it's a money pile in a way, right? And that's me when I had all these jeans come in. I'm over them. I don't know how long I've had them. Probably about 2 weeks now. And I don't know. I'm getting close to being done with them. Well, kind of close. What is today? Tuesday. I think sometime next week I'll be finished with them. So behind me, can't really see it. I sourced with an Instagram friend up in Colorado, and really cheap. He sent me this big old, well, you can't see it, but there's this big old FedEx. I don't know. It's probably 30 by 24 by 24. I don't know. It's really big. You could probably put 50, 60 pair of shoes in there. And it was filled with shoes, cowboy boots, really good things. He doesn't like selling those type of things. He just does hard goods. So I bought them from him really cheap. I did list some of that, probably 20 pair, but I'm going to finish listing the jeans. I'm going to knock out those shoes. At that, I will be ready to start listing some more, and then, decide if I want to order some more jeans from Matt. I probably will. I might take a little bit of break just to be able to source some on my own. Fort Worth's the one I generally go to. Yep. I'm south of Dallas. I'm actually in Waxahachie, Texas. So for me, I take 287 out there. But yeah, that Fort Worth. I've even been garage selling out there. In the spring here in our area, Brittany knows this, man, the garage sales are great. I mean, they're pretty good all year round. And, open up, get yard sale treasure map, plan your routes. And sometimes I will go to different parts of the DFW area. Sometimes I'll start in my area and work my way just kind of around the map, making a loop to coming back home. Yep. Little M. Gotcha. Got a friend that lives up there. That's all I'm getting, only because I'm just now starting back listing after the holidays. Yeah, and all right, and here's the other thing. That's a good point. Now, Tech's an animal, all right? He hasn't missed a day listing in 10 years. Now, I mean, I'm all about work, but I do think there needs, like I take Sundays off and I only work maybe half a day, and I'd like to get where I don't even work on Saturdays. Because and it is good to take breaks and take vacations because it gives you a chance to recharge. I think Tech and Sports is just a different animal. Like his battery, he's go mode. But I think for most people, you do need some time off. And I take Sundays off the whole day, no reselling. And Saturdays, I just get my minimum listings up lately. So that's a short day on Saturday, unless I'm out there sourcing, going to garage sales or something, which doesn't even feel like work to me. That's the fun part. Brittany, I try to do 30 listings a day, not due to my other entrepreneurial activities. Curious what other entrepreneurial activities you got, but that's the thing. And like for me personally, because I do so much wholesale, I don't count that as my listings. Like if I was not selling wholesale, like I know it'd be easy for me to get at least 40 listings a day if I was just doing the one-offs. But I am kind of balancing that also. But the wholesale, man, they just generate so many sales and it's so easy. So I spend a lot of time shipping and customer service and sourcing online, which cuts into my listing time. But I think for me, like I want to keep that balance of at least 20 one-offs a day. Like I like to be diversified. So whether it's on platforms, like I have eBay, that's where all my clothing and my one-offs go on eBay. Poshmark, on Poshmark, I do shoes. eBay also shoes. Poshmark, I do my wholesale. I do jewelry on there. I'll just be upfront. I do jewelry on Poshmark. I do jewelry on Mercari, and I'm doing jewelry on Facebook Marketplace. I also do some of the higher end clothing and shoes on Facebook Marketplace. Like that stuff sells well. So I'm kind of like you, juggling. Well, I mean, it's reselling, but it's juggling different resellings. I'm not like Tech and Sports where that's all I do, which, I mean, his model works great, but that way I'm kind of diversified. If something happened to one side or the other or one platform, I'd be drowning. I could, because I have others. Yeah, we do have great garage sales, and they're so fun. I mean, just the treasure hunting element is so fun. The other thing, talking about keto or the bulletproof diet, man, apparently from what I've read, that when you go on that your body retains a lot of fluid when you're eating carbs. And so once you cut those carbs out, man, your body just releases a lot of that fluid. And I have been drinking so much water. So I don't know, just a side note, like I've been drinking a lot of water with a lemon for the potassium. I find myself doing something work related almost every day. That's why I took the break. Yeah, it is good. And I'm sure you're probably recharged and ready to go, right? And we do, like our family, we went on, now we had COVID, but we did go up to Colorado for a week. And that's another thing I want to do. I want to do a vacation / sourcing trip. Like I do want to take a trip up, because you can write those miles off. You can write your lodgings off. You can write your meals because you're out of state. You just got to make sure every day that you're sourcing. And like I would probably stop. Like my thought is from here to stop maybe in Amarillo, do a little sourcing there, and then work my way up to Colorado. And each day maybe go to a thrift store for a couple of hours. And then, go hiking or just enjoy yourself and be able to write that off. I know Buffalo Pickers, he told me about that about a year ago, and I'm no CPA, but it does mesh out from everything I've read and heard. Wholesale. Yeah, wholesale. Chris model. I don't know if I have, like, it kind of varies. Like during Christmas time, I had this one product that was selling about 20 times a day, and I was making like $19.04 profit on every one. It was just selling. It still sells, but it was blowing up at Christmas time. And all I'd have to do is order more when it would start running low. And I've kind of built up my inventory where I've got enough of them where it's really working. So yeah, wholesale, Alibaba is where I'm doing my wholesale at. I've been on there a few years, and I used to submit RFQs where, if you're looking for something, you submit it, and different suppliers will give you quotes. And over time, I found one, I guess you can call her an agent that I work with. And now I just tell her, hey, I'm looking for this. And she gives me really good prices, and I don't have to deal with the headache of because they will just bombard you with messages and WhatsApp and everything. She'll give me really good prices. She'll combine the items, gives me really discounted shipping. That's fast. I mean, coming from China, relatively speaking, gets here in usually about 10 days. So that's pretty fast coming from there. So yeah, wholesale is good. And part of me was like, I could just do wholesale. My life would be so much easier. But like, what if that crashed for whatever reason? Then I don't want to be in a situation, since I'm doing this full time right now. I would like to have a full-time income from the one-offs, and then at the same time really blow up the wholesale lot. And that's kind of my MO. But it is kind of straining me. Like, I'm at the point where I could probably use some help. But I'm trying to see how much I can do and really get it down before I go down that road. Yeah, drinking lots of water. Keto. Matter of fact, we're doing broccoli beef tonight. No rice, or maybe do cauliflower rice for lunch. I don't know why I'm talking keto. I had actually, they got keto bread. I did tuna fish with mayo on keto bread. Now, it's not like a regular bread, obviously, but it is way better than I thought. It's like $4 for a loaf, and it's a small loaf, but the bread is soft and it kind of does the job. I had that. I had some guacamole. I dipped some bell peppers in, healthy fats in there, low carb. And then I had a handful of pistachios with a lot of water. That was my lunch. And I haven't had any cravings. That's the biggest thing, man, because I do have a sweet tooth. Now, and I've been telling everybody, like, I think twice a month I'm going to have a cheat meal, maybe the 1st and the 15th, because the thought of going the rest of my life with never have another Whataburger, that's just too sad. But I think, like, the cravings are way down. Like, almost no cravings. Like, even right now, it's dinner time. I'm a little hungry, but I'm like, oh, I don't have the jitters or those cravings, and the mental alertness has been great. But, maybe the 80-20 rule, in this case, maybe it's a 95-5 rule. Follow the plan 95% of the time. Yeah. And then the fact that you can write it off, that's, I think, the best part, because you can. And that would be great for the taxes. Brittany had a great relationship with a local thrift store owner when I lived in Kansas. Got me thinking about making a trip. And there you go. I know my daughter, she's in college. Her and her boyfriend, who's graduating from UT Austin, and his brother, like, we're all like friends of the family. His mother teaches where my wife teaches at. We're in really good family, so we're all really close. Anyway, long story short, they took a long road trip. They're like, "Come on, Dad, let's go." They're going up to like, he lives up in Minnesota, and they took a long road trip up there. And I'm like, no, I can't take. Like, I don't want to source up to Minnesota, and right now I got the business is going too well. I want to keep it running, but yeah, through Kansas. I guess that's why I brought that up. But yeah, you imagine that would be a good YouTube video. Like, if you spent like a summer or 6 months sourcing, I don't know, rent out a big giant truck and sourcing across the US. Imagine the stuff you could bring back. Yeah, cauliflower rice. Yeah, we had that last night for dinner. We did a taco bowl, ground chuck with a taco seasoning. With the cauliflower rice was the base, and then you have the taco meat, and then we had the cheddar and Monterey cheese, diced tomato, romaine lettuce, and then I made some good guacamole, by the way. and with some crema, which is the Mexican sour cream, which is even better than regular sour cream. And that meal hit, and like almost no carbs. It was so freaking good. I did want to put some chips on. I'm not gonna lie, because normally, I mean, I was like, all right, no, don't do it, don't do it. I didn't do it, but man, it would have been even better tasting with some tortilla chips, a couple of salads. Yep, yep. Well, the salads have a lot of potassium and all those minerals that you need. I know I've got a lot of salads, lettuce, all those good veggies. Half a banana to take care of the sweet too. Okay, okay. I know over Christmas break, my family, like, we all baked one night, me and all the girls, and we made some banana nut bread. Oh my, that is my weakness. Banana nut bread is so freaking amazing. Matter of fact, when I have a cheat day, I'm thinking about that. Some banana nut bread would be good on that cheat meal. All right, Jared. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm going to shut this down too. I'm right up on an hour. I appreciate everybody for stopping by, having a little chat. I'm trying to do this daily, just talk a little reselling, talk a little life. And I appreciate Brittany and Jared and Tri Flippers and everyone else out there. If you do me a favor, go ahead and smash. And if you haven't subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. If you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, you'll be notified. And I'm trying to go live most days during the week at 5 p.m. to kind of rehash the reseller life, and let's talk reselling and anything else that pops up. So once again, thanks everybody for dropping by. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to go have beef, and good luck out there reselling. Time.